have tricks in my pocket. I have things up my sleeve, but I'm the opposite of a stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth. I give you truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. I take you back to an alley in St. Louis. The time, that quaint period when the huge middle class of America was matriculating from a school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes. And so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fiery red alphabet of a dissolving economy. In Spain, there was revolution. Here, there was only shouting and confusion and labor disturbances, sometimes violent. In otherwise peaceful cities, such as Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. That is the social background of this play. The play is memory. Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted. It is sentimental. It is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. That explains the piano and the wings. I am the narrator of this play and also a character in it. The other characters are my mother, Amanda, my sister, Laura, and a German caller who only appears in the final scene. He is the most realistic character in the play, being an emissary from a world we were somehow set apart from. But having a poet's weakness for symbols, I'm using this character as a symbol, as a long-delayed but always expected something that we live for. There is a fifth character who doesn't appear other than in a photograph hanging on the wall. When you see the picture of this grinning gentleman, please remember that this is our father who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distance. And so he gave up his job at the telephone company and skipped the light fantastic out of town. The last we heard of him was a picture postcard from the Pacific coast of Mexico, containing a message of 2 words. Hello, goodbye, and no address.
You know, Laura, I had the funniest experience in church last Sunday.
In church?
The church was completely crowded, except for one pew way down front, and in that was sitting one little old lady. Well, I went up to her and I asked her very sweetly, "May I share this pew with you?" "No, you may not," she said. "This space is rented." You know, Lord, that is the first time I've ever heard of the Lord renting space. God, these Northern Episcopalians. Now, the Southern Episcopalians I can understand, but not these Northern ones. Oh, honey, don't push your food with your fingers. If you must push your food, the thing to use is a crust of bread. Oh, honey, chew your food. You know, animals have secretions in their stomachs that allow them to digest their food without mastication. But human beings must chew their food before they swallow it down, so chew, chew. Oh, honey, eat leisurely, eat leisurely. A well-prepared meal has many delicate flavors which must be held in the mouth to be fully appreciated, not just gulped down. So chew, chew, chew. Don't you want to give your salivary glands a chance to function?
Mother, I haven't enjoyed one bite of my dinner because of your constant directions on how to eat it. It's you that makes me hurry through my meals with your hawk-like attention to every bite I take. It's disgusting, all this talk of animal secretion, salivary glands, mastication.
Ooh, temperament like a metropolitan star. are not excused from this table.
I'm getting a cigarette.
You smoke too much.
Mother, I'll bring in the coffee.
Oh, no. Now you sit down. I'm going to be the servant and you're going to be the lady.
I'm already out.
Resume your seat. Resume your seat. Now you stay fresh and pretty for our gentlemen callers.
I am not expecting any gentleman callers, Mother.
Well, that's the nice thing about them. You know, sometimes they show up when they are least expected. Now, I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain when your mother was a girl.
I know what's coming now.
Yes, but let her tell it.
Again.
She loves to tell it.
I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain when your mother was a girl. She received 17 gentlemen callers. Oh, sometimes there were so many of them that we had to send the servant boy over to the parish house to get more folding chairs to accommodate them all.
How did you entertain all these gentlemen callers?
Well, I happened to understand the art of conversation.
I bet you could talk.
Well, I could, I tell you. All the girls in my day could.
Yes?
Well, they knew how to entertain their gentlemen callers. You know, it wasn't enough for a girl to be possessed of a pretty face and a graceful figure, although I was not slighted in either respect. But she also had to have a nimble wit and a tongue for all occasions.
What did you talk about?
Well, we talked about things of importance going on in the world. Never anything common or coarse or vulgar. My gentlemen callers were from some of the finest families in the Mississippi Delta. Planters and sons of planters. There was young Champ Laughlin. He became vice president of the Delta Planters Bank. Oh, and then there was Hadley Stevens. He drowned in Moon Lake. Certainly left his widow well provided for, over $150,000 in government bonds. Oh, and then there were the Couture brothers, Wesley and Bates. Oh, Bates was one of my own bright particular beaux. Oh, but he got into a fight with that wild Wainwright boy, and they shot him out on the floor of the Moon Lake Casino. Bates was shot in the stomach. Died in the ambulance on the way to Memphis. Certainly left his widow well provided for, too. Over 8,000 to 10,000 acres. Of course, he never loved that woman. She just caught him on the rebound. They found my picture on him the night he died. And then there was that boy. That beautiful boy that every girl in the Delta was setting her cap for. That beautiful, brilliant Fitzhugh boy from Greene County.
What did he leave his widow?
He never married. Listen to you. You talk as though my gentlemen callers had turned their toes up to the daisies.
Isn't this the first you mentioned that still survives?
Oh, wait. He did make a fortune. He went up to Wall Street up north and he got rich. Oh, that boy had the Midas touch. Everything he touched just turned gold. And I could have been Mrs. J. Duncan Fitzhugh. But what did I do? I just went out of my way and married your father.
Mother, let me clear the table.
No. Now, how do you study your typewriting chart or practice your shorthand? Now, you stay fresh and pretty. It's almost time for our gentlemen callers to be arriving. Now, how many do you expect we're going to entertain this afternoon?
I don't believe we're going to receive any, Mother.
No, not any. Oh, no one. Why, you must must be joking. What's the matter? No one? Has there been a flood or a tornado?
No, Mother, it's not a flood and it's not a tornado either. I'm just not popular like you were in Blue Mountain. Mother's afraid I'm going to be an old maid. Hello, Mother. I was
You were just practicing your timing, I suppose.
Yes.
Deception, deception, deception.
How was the DAR meeting, Mother?
DAR meeting?
Didn't you go to the DAR meeting?
No, I didn't go to any DAR meeting. I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the courage. I just wanted to find a hole in the ground and crawl in it and stay there for the rest of my life.
Why did you do that, Mother?
Why? Why? How old are you, Laura?
Mother, you know my age.
I was under the impression that you were an adult, but evidently I was mistaken.
Please don't stare at me, Mother.
What are we going to do? What is going to happen to us? What is the future?
Has something happened, Mother?
Be all right in a minute. I'm just bewildered by life.
Mother, I just wish you could tell me what happened.
Well, I went to the DAR meeting. As you know, I was to be inducted as an officer. On my way, I stopped in at Rubican's Business College to tell them about your cold and to see how you were progressing down there.
Oh,
Yes, oh. I walked up and introduced myself to your typing teacher. She didn't even know who you were. Wingfield, she said, well, there's no such scholar as Wingfield enrolled at this school. Well, I assured her she didn't have such a student as you. I told her that my daughter has been coming here every day for the past 6 weeks. got sick to the stomach and had to be carried out. Never came back after that. Oh, well, we called the house every day, but nobody ever answered. It must have been when I was down at that department store demonstrating those. I was so upset I couldn't stand. I had to sit down while they brought me a glass of water. $50 tuition. I don't mind the money so much, but all of my plans for you just went right up the spout, just went right up the spout. Oh, don't do that, Laura. Don't you play that Victrola. Where have you been going every day that you've walked out of this house pretending to go to business college?
I've just been going out walking.
Oh, that's not true.
Yes, it is, Mother. I just went walking.
Walking? Walking? In winter? Deliberately caught pneumonia in that light coat? Where have you been walking to, Laura?
All sorts of places, Mother. Mostly in the park.
Even after you started catching that cold.
It was the lesser of two evils, Mother. I couldn't go back. I threw up on the floor.
So every day, from 7:30 until 5 in the afternoon, you mean to tell me you've been walking around the park instead of telling me that you weren't going to Ruby Cam's business college?
Mother, it's not as bad as it sounds. I went inside places to get work done.
Well, inside where?
I went to the art museum and the birdhouses at the zoo. I visited the penguins every day. Oh, sometimes I did without lunch and I just went to the movies. And lately I've been spending most of my afternoons at the jewel box, that big glass house where they raise tropical flowers.
And you did all that just to deceive me? Just for deception? Why? Why?
Mother, when you're disappointed, you get that awful suffering look on your face, like the picture of Jesus' mother in the museum.
Oh,
I couldn't go back, Mother. I couldn't.
so what are we going to do now, honey, for the rest of our lives? Sit in this house and watch the parades go by? Amuse ourselves with the Glass Menagerie? Endlessly play those phonograph records that your father left as a painful reminder of him? Oh, we can't have a business career. Oh, no. That just gives us indigestion. Laura, what are we going to do the rest of our lives? What is there left for us now but dependency? I tell you, Laura, I know what happens to girls who are unmarried and unprepared for a position in life. I've seen such pitiful cases in the South. Unwanted spinsters who are living off some brother's wife or some sister's husband, tucked away in some little mousetrap of a room, encouraged by one in-law to go and visit the other one. Little bird-like women with no nest of their own, eternally eating the crust of humility all their lives. Is that what we've planned for ourselves, Laura? Because I don't think that's a very pleasant alternative. And frankly, I can't think of any other alternative. Now, of course, some girls do get married. Oh, for goodness sake, Laura! Laura, haven't you ever liked a boy?
Yes, I liked one once.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I came across his picture a while ago.
Oh, he gave you his picture, too?
No, Mother, it's in the yearbook.
Oh, he was a high school boy.
Yes, and his name was Jim. Oh, here he is. in the Pirates of Penzance.
The what?
The operetta the senior class put on. I remember what a beautiful voice he had, Mother. And here he is, with the silver cup for debate. Oh, you see his grin.
Oh. So he had a grin too, did he?
He used to call me Blue Roses.
Blue Roses? What do you call you a silly name like that for?
When I had that attack of pleurosis and I was out of school a little, I came back and he asked me what was the matter. I said pleurosis. He thought I said Blue Roses. And that's what you call me after that, Mother. Whenever he'd see me, he'd holler, "Hello, Blue Roses." I never really cared for that girl that he went out with, Emily Meisenbach. Oh, she was the best dressed girl at Solden, but she never struck me as being sincere. I read in the newspaper once that they were engaged, but that was a long time ago. They're probably married by now.
That doesn't matter, honey. It doesn't matter. It's all right. Sometimes little girls who aren't cut out for business careers marry very nice young men. And I am going to see to it that you do just the same thing.
Oh, Mother.
What is it, honey?
I'm crippled.
No. Now, I told you never to use that word. And you are not crippled. You just have a slight defect, that's all. You know, if you'd been a girl in my day, and you wore those long skirts that swept along the floor, why, that might have been viewed as an asset. You know, honey, when you've got a little disadvantage, you just have to cultivate something else to take its place. Like charm, or vivacity, or charm. You know, that is the one thing that your father had plenty of, his charm.
After the fiasco at Rubican's Business College, the idea of getting a genuine caller from our sister Laura began to play a more and more important part in my mother's calculations. It became an obsession, like some archetype of the universal unconscious. The image of this genuine caller haunted our small apartment. An evening at home rarely passed without some allusion to this image, this specter, this hope. And even when he wasn't mentioned, his presence hung in my mother's preoccupied look and in my sister's frightened and apologetic manner. It hung like a sentence passed upon the Wingfields. But my mother was a woman of action as well as words. She began to take logical steps in the planned direction. Late that winter and in the early spring, realizing that extra money would be needed to feather the nest and plume the bird, she began a vigorous campaign on the telephone, roping in subscribers to one of those magazines for matrons called the Homemaker's Companion. The type of journal that features those serialized sublimations of ladies and letters who think in terms of delicate cup-like breads, bodies like Etruscan sculpture.
Ida Scott? Ida, this is Amanda Wingfield. Wingfield. Oh, honey, we missed you at PAR last Monday. Now first, Ida, tell me, how is that sinus condition of yours? Oh, you are just a Christian martyr, honey. That is what you are. You are just a Christian martyr. Well, now, Ida, I was looking through my little red book, and I noticed that your subscription to the companion is about to run out just when that brand new serial by Bessie May Harper is about to begin. Oh, yes, this is the first thing she's written since Honeymoon for Three. Yes, that was unusual, wasn't it? Well, honey, this one is even lovelier. It's all about the horses set on Long Island. And this debutante is taking her horse over the hurdles at the regatta, and she falls off and she injures her spine. That's what happens. The horse stepped on her spine. And there is only one surgeon in the entire world who can keep her from being completely paralyzed, and that is the man that she is engaged to be married to. Oh, and he's tall, and he's blonde, and he's handsome, and well, yes, that's unusual too. Oh, no, but honey, he isn't perfect. Oh, no, he has a weakness. He has the most terrible weakness in the world. He drinks too much. What? Oh, no. Oh, honey, don't let him burn. You just run out to the kitchen and check the oven. No, hold on here. Ida? Ida? Do you know what that woman did? She hung up on me.
Mother, Tom's trying to write.
Oh, so he is
Now, what are you up to?
Oh, honey, I'm just trying to protect your eyesight. Now, you've only got one pair of eyes, so you gotta take care of them. Now, I know Milton was blind, but that is not what made him a genius.
Mother, will you please go busy yourself with something else? I'm trying to write.
Oh, honey, I wish you would sit up straight so that your shoulder blades didn't poke out like little sparrows' wings.
Mother, will you please go away and let me finish my writing?
But honey, I have seen a medical chart, and I know what that position does to your internal organs. Now, you sit up straight, and I'm going to show you. Now, your stomach presses on your lungs, and your lungs press on your heart, and your poor little heart gets discouraged because it hasn't got any room to go on beating for you.
And what in hell am I supposed to do?
Talk to me like that. Well, have you gone out of your senses?
Yes, I have. You've driven me out of there.
What is the matter with you, Blakey, you big idiot?
Look, Mother, I haven't got a thing, not a single thing left in this house that I can call my own.
Lower your voice.
Yesterday you confiscated my books. You had the nerve.
Well, yes, I took that horrible book back to the library, that awful book by that insane Mr. Lawrence. Oh, now I cannot control the output of a diseased mind or the people it caters to, but I will not have such filth in my house. No.
House. Who pays the rent on this house? Who makes a slave of
How
himself?
dare you talk to me like that?
Oh, no, I mustn't say anything. I've just got to keep quiet and let you do all the talking.
Now you let me tell you something here.
I don't want to hear anymore.
Now you are going to hear from...
Well, I'm not going to listen. I'm going out.
Listen to me now, Tom Wingfield. I have had just about enough of your impudence. And another thing, I am nearly at the end of my patience.
What do you think I'm at the end of, Mother? Aren't I allowed any patience to reach the end of? I know it doesn't seem important to you. What I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, having a difference between them. Don't think that.
I think that you are doing things that you are ashamed of. And that's why you act like this. I don't believe that you go to the movies every night. Nobody goes to the movies every night. Nobody in their right mind goes to the movies every night. People don't go to the movies at nearly midnight, and movies do not get out at 2 a.m. Come come in here mumbling, stuttering, get 3 hours of sleep, and then you go down to that warehouse. So I can imagine how you're doing down there, moping, doping, because you're in no condition.
That's true. That's very, very true. I'm in no condition.
How dare you jeopardize your job? Jeopardize our future. What would happen to us if you lost?
Look, Mother, you think I'm crazy about the warehouse? You think I'm in love with the Continental shoemakers? You think I want to spend 55 years of my life down there in that Celotex interior with fluorescent tubes? Honest to God, I'd rather somebody picked up a crowbar and battered out my brains than go back mornings. I'd go. Sure enough, every time you come in yelling that bloody rise and shine, I say to myself, how lucky dead people are. But I get up, I go. For $65 a month, I give up all that I dream of doing and being ever. And you say that is all I ever think of. Why listen, Mother, if self is all I ever thought of, I'd be where he is, gone, as far as the system of transportation reaches. Please don't grab me, Mother.
Honey, I'm not grabbing at you. I just want to know where you're going.
Go to the movies.
Oh, I don't believe that lie.
No! Well, you're right. For once in your life, you're right. I'm not going to the movies. I'm going to opium dens. Yes, Mother, opium dens. There's the vice and criminals hangouts, Mother. I've joined the Hogan gang. I'm a hired assassin. I carry a Tommy gun in a violin case. I run a string of cat houses in the valley. They call me Killer. Killer Wingfield. I'm really leading a double life. By day, I'm a simple, honest warehouse worker. But at night, I'm a dynamic czar of the underworld. Why, I go to gambling casinos and spit away a fortune on the black table. I wear a patch over one eye and a false mustache. Sometimes wear green whiskers. On those occasions, they call me El Diablo. Oh, I can tell you things to make you sleepless. My enemies plan to dynamite this place some night. Some night they're gonna blow us all sky high. And will I be glad? Oh, will I be happy? And so will you be. You'll go up over Blue Mountain on a broomstick with 17 gentlemen callers, you understand? Bound an old witch.
My Glass Menagerie.
I will never speak to you again as long as you live, unless you apologize to me.
Tom? Tom, what are you doing?
Looking for a door key.
Where have you been all this time?
I've been to the movies.
Oh, all this time at the movies.
There was a very long program. Oh, there was a cardboard picture, and a Mickey Mouse, and a newsreel. Oh, and a travel log. And one of those previews for coming attractions. Oh, and there was a collection for the milk fund and the organ solo simultaneously, which resulted in a terrible fight between a fat lady and an usher.
Did you have to stay through everything?
Of course. Oh, I almost forgot. There was a big stage show. The headline on this stage show was about Volio the magician. He performed wonderful tricks, many of them, such as pouring water back and forth between pitches. First it turned to wine, then it turned to beer, and finally it turned to whiskey. I know it was whiskey it finally turned into because he needed somebody to come up out of the audience and help him. I came up. Both shows. It was Kentucky straight bourbon. Oh, very generous fellow. He gave souvenirs. He gave me this. This, Laura, is his magic scar. You can have it there. You wave it over a canary cage, and it turns into a bowl of goldfish. Then you wave it over the goldfish bowl, and they fly away. Canaries. Oh, the wonderfulest trick of all was that coffin trick. We nailed him into a coffin, and he got out of that coffin without removing a single nail. There's a trick that will come in handy for me. Get me out of this 2x4 situation.
Tom, shh.
What are you shushing me for?
You wake up Mother.
Goody, goody! Pay her back for all those rise and shine! No, Laura. It don't take much intelligence to get yourself into a nailed-up coffin. Who in hell ever got himself out of one without removing a single nail?
Rise and shine, rise and shine. Laura, go tell your brother to rise and shine.
I'll rise, but I won't shine.
Laura, tell your brother his coffee is ready.
Tom? Tom, it's nearly 7. Please don't make Mother nervous, Tom. Tom, speak to Mother this morning. Make up with her, apologize, and speak to her.
It won't me. It's her that started not speaking.
Well, if you just say sorry, she will start speaking.
not speaking. Is that such a tragedy?
Tom, please. Please.
Laura, are you going to go do what I asked you to do, or do I have to get dressed and do it myself?
I'm going, Mother. I'm going as soon as I get on my coat. You wanted butter and what else?
Just butter, and tell them to charge it.
Mother, they make such faces when I tell them to do that.
Sticks and stones may break our bones, but the look on Mr. Garfinkel's face cannot harm us. And tell your brother his coffee's getting cold.
Tom, do what I asked you to do, will you? Will you, Tom, please?
Laura, will you please go now, or just don't go at all?
I'm going. I'm going. Ow!
Laura!
I'm all right. I slipped, but I'm all right.
You know, somebody is going to fall down those steps and break their leg. And then that landlord ought to be sued for every single cent that he has got. Who are you?
I'm sorry, Mother. I'm sorry for all those things I said. I didn't mean it. I apologize.
My devotion has made me a witch, and so I make myself hateful to my children.
No, you don't.
I worry so much, I don't sleep nights, I get so nervous.
I understand that.
You know, I have had to put up a solitary battle all these years. But you are my right-hand bow. So don't fall down, don't fail me now.
I tried, Mother.
Oh, and if you try, you will succeed. You are just filled with natural endowments. Oh, both my children are. They are very precious children, and I have so much to be thankful for. Tom, just promise me one thing.
What is that one thing, Mother?
Promise me that you'll never be a drunkard.
I promise, Mother. Won't ever be a drunkard, Mother.
Just was so worried because you drink and eat a bowl of Purina.
Oh, thank you.
Some shredded wheat biscuit.
Oh, thank you. Just coffee.
Oh, but honey, you can't put in a full day's work on an empty stomach. Now you got 10 minutes. Now don't gulp that, honey. Drinking too hot liquids causes cancer of the stomach. Put some cream in it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, honey, just to cool it.
No, thank you, Mother. I want it black.
Well, I know, honey, but it isn't good for you. You know, we have to build ourselves up. In these trying times, all we have to cling to is each other. And that's why it's so important to... Honey, I sent your sister out because I wanted to discuss something with you. If you hadn't spoken to me first, I would have spoken to you.
What is it, Mother, that you want to discuss?
Laura.
Oh, Laura.
Well, you know how quiet Laura is, but still waters run deep. She notices things, and I think she broods on them. I came in here the other day, and I found her crying.
What about?
you're not happy here.
What gave her that idea?
Well, what gives her any idea? But Tom, you do act strangely. Now, honey, I'm not criticizing you. I know that your ambitions do not lie in the warehouse. And I know, like every other person in the whole wide world, you've had to make sacrifices. Tom, life's not easy. And it calls for Spartan endurance. Oh, Tom, there are so many things in my heart that I can't describe to you. I never told you, but I loved your father.
I know that, Mother.
Well, when I see you taking after his ways, and, well, you had been drinking that night that you were in that terrible condition. Now Laura says that you hate the apartment, that's why you go out nights. Is that true, Tom?
No. Look, you say there are things in your heart that you can't describe to me. Well, that's true of me too. There are things in my heart that I just can't describe to you. So let's just agree to respect each other.
But Tom, why are you so restless? Where do you go to nights?
I go to the movies.
Well, why do you go to the movies so much?
I go to the movies because I like adventure. Adventure isn't something I get a lot of at work, so I go to the movies.
But Tom, you go to the movies entirely too much.
I like a lot of adventure.
Well, most young men find adventure in their careers.
Then most young men are not employed at a warehouse.
You know, the world is full of young men who are employed at warehouses and offices and factories.
Do all of them find adventure in their careers?
Well, they do or they do without it. Not everybody has a craze for adventure.
Man is by instinct a lover, a hunter, a fighter. None of those instincts are given much play at the warehouse.
Man is by instinct. Oh, don't you quote instinct to me. Instinct is something that people have gotten away from. Only animals want it. Christian adults don't want it.
What do Christian adults want then, Mother?
Well, they want superior things. Things of the mind and the spirit. Only animals have to satisfy their instincts. Now, surely your desires are somewhat above theirs, above monkeys or pigs.
I reckon they're not.
Well, now you're joking, but I still haven't talked to you about what I want to discuss.
I haven't got much
Now,
time.
honey, sit down.
You want me to punch your bread at the warehouse?
I've got 5 minutes. Now, sit down. I want to talk about Laura.
All right. What about Laura?
Well, honey, we got to be making plans and provisions for your sister. She's 2 years older than you, and nothing has happened. She just drifts along, doing nothing. It frightens me terribly how she just drifts along.
I guess she's just the type that some people call homegirl.
Oh, there ain't any such type, and if there is, it's a pity unless it's in a home of her own with a husband of her own.
What?
Tom, I can see the writing on the wall as plain as I can see the nose on my face. More and more, you remind me of your father, staying out all night without any explanations, and then one day, goodbye, gone, and me with the bag left to hold. Now, I saw that letter you got from the Merchant Marines. I know what you're dreaming of. I'm not standing here blindfolded. Well, all right, go then. But not until there is somebody to take your place.
What do you mean?
Not until there is somebody to take care of your sister. Give her a home, a husband, independence. Well, then you can go. You can go on land or on sea, whichever way the wind carries you. But until that time, you've got to look after your sister. Now, I'm not talking about me because I'm old and I don't matter, but I'm talking about your sister because she's young and dependent. I put her in business college, a dismal failure. Frightened her so much she was sick at the stomach. I took her to the Young People's League at church. Nobody talked to her. She didn't talk to anybody. Another fiasco. Now all she does is just fool those little pieces of glass and play those worn-out records. Now what kind of life is that for a young girl to lead?
What can I do about it?
Overcome selfishness. Self, self, self. That's all you think of. Oh, honey. Come on. Put on your wool muffler here. Here, now put your muffler on. Now, Tom, I haven't asked what I want.
I'm too late.
Tom, honey, down at the warehouse, are there some nice young men?
No.
Oh, no, honey, there must be some. Honey, find one that's clean linen and done drinking and bring him home to meet sister.
What?
To meet sister, to meet her, to get acquainted.
Oh, my God.
Will you, dear, will you?
Yes!
Ella Cartwright. Ella, it's Amanda Wingfield. Now, Ella, first, tell me, honey, how is that kidney condition of yours? Oh, you are a Christian martyr. That is what you are. You're just a Christian martyr. Now, Ella, I was looking through my little red book, and I noticed that your subscription to the Companion was about to run out just when they're starting that brand new serial by Bessie May. Oh, you read it already? Oh, well, how do you think it turns out? You know, because Bessie May Harper always gives you complications. You know, you have to have complications. You can't have a story without complications. But that's the thing about Bessie May Harper. She always gives you such an uplift. What's the matter, Ella? You sound so mad. 7 o'clock in the morning. I forgot you never get up before 9. Forgot anybody in the whole world was allowed to sleep that late. Well, I'm sorry, Ella. Well, I can't say anything more than that I'm sorry, can I? You will? You will? Oh, you'll take that subscription from me anyway? Oh, bless you, Ella. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
Across the alley was the Paradise Dance Hall. Evenings in spring, they'd open all the doors and windows, and the music would come outside. Sometimes they'd even turn out all the lights, except for a large glass sphere that hung from the ceiling. It would turn slowly about, filter the dust with delicate rainbow colors. And the orchestra would play a waltz or a tango, something that had a slow and sensuous rhythm. The young couples would come outside to the relative privacy of the alley. You could see them kissing behind ash pits and telephone poles. This was the compensation for lives that passed like mine, without change or adventure. Changes and adventure, however, were imminent this year. They were waiting around the corner for all these dancing kids. Suspended in the midst of a Burtish garden, caught in the folds of Chamberlain's umbrella. In Spain, there was Guernica. Here, there was only hot swing music and liquor. Dance halls, bars, and movies, booze and sex that hung in the gloom like a chandelier, flooded the world with brief, deceptive rainbows. While these unsuspecting kids danced to Dear One, the world was waiting for the sunrise. All the world was really waiting for bombardments.
Tom? Thomas Jefferson Wingfield. Tom, honey. Tom.
I came out to smoke.
Oh, you smoke too much. Pack a day, 15 cents a pack. Now, how would that add up in a whole month? Now, let's think about that. 30 times 15. Well, it isn't very much, but it would go towards a nice night school course in accounting at Washington U. Now, wouldn't that be lovely?
I'd rather smoke.
I know you would. That is the tragedy of you. Oh, this fire escape lantern is a sorry excuse for the porch we used to have. What are you looking at?
The moon.
Oh, is there a moon this evening?
It's rising over Garfinkel's delicatessen.
Oh, so it is. Oh, little silver slipper of a moon. Did you make a wish? What'd you wish for?
That's a secret.
All right then. Well, I won't tell you what I wished for either. I can keep a secret too. I can be just as mysterious as you can.
I bet I can guess what you wished for.
Why, is my head transparent?
You're not a sphinx.
No, I don't have any secrets. I wished for happiness and success for my precious children on the moon. I wish for that every time there's a moon. And I wish for that when there is no moon either.
I thought perhaps you had wished for a gentleman caller.
Why do you say that?
Don't you remember asking me to fetch one?
Oh, I seem to recall suggesting that it might be nice for you to bring a young man over to meet Sister. I believe I've made that suggestion several times.
Yes, you have made it repeatedly.
Well?
We are going to have one.
What?
A gentleman caller.
You mean you asked some nice young man to come over?
I did. I asked him to dinner.
You really did?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
And did he accept?
He did.
He did?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I thought that you would be pleased.
So it's definite then?
Very definite.
Oh, well, how soon?
Quite soon.
How soon?
Pretty soon.
Oh, how soon?
Very, very soon.
Oh, every time I want to know something, you carry on like that.
What do you want to know?
Well, just go ahead and guess. Go ahead and guess.
Right, I guess you want to know when the gentleman caller's coming. He's coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, no. I can't do anything about tomorrow. I can't do anything about tomorrow.
Why not?
Don't give me any time.
Time for what?
Time for preparations. You should have told me the minute you invited him and the minute he accepted.
Mother, you don't have to make any fuss.
Well, of course I have to make a fuss. I can't have some man coming into the house that's all sloppy. It's got to be thrown together properly. Oh, I've got a lot of fast thinking to do before tomorrow night.
I don't see why you have to think at all.
Oh, that's because you just don't know. You just don't know. I can't have some gentleman caller come into a house that's a pigsty. Oh, let's see. I've got those 3 pieces of wedding silver left over. I can polish those up. And oh, I wonder how that old blue shawl is holding up. Oh, well, we can't wear anything. We haven't got anything to wear. Haven't got anything where we haven't got it.
Well, this boy is no one to make a fuss over.
I don't know how you can say that when this is the first gentleman caller that your sister's ever had. I think it's pitiful that this is the first gentleman caller she's ever had. Now, come on inside. Come on inside.
What for?
Because I want to ask you a few things.
If you're going to make a fuss, I'll call the whole thing off.
No.
I'll call the boy up and I'll tell him not to come.
No, now you mustn't do that. People Will you come inside when I tell you to come inside? Now you sit down.
Any particular place you want me to sit?
Oh, just sit anywhere. Have you ever seen anything so sad looking in your life? Well, I'll get a bright colored piece of cretonne to cover it. Oh, I wish I had time to paper the walls. All right, now. What's his name?
His name is Jim.
Jim. Well, tomorrow's Friday, so that means fish. I know, I made that salmon loaf with nice mayonnaise dressing. Now, where did you meet him?
At the warehouse, of course. Where else would I meet him?
Well, how do I know? Does he drink?
Now, what made you ask me that?
Because your father drank?
Now, don't get started on that.
Oh, so he does drink?
No, not that I know of.
Well, honey, you gotta find out. That is the last thing in the world that I want for my daughter is a man who drinks.
Mother, aren't you being a little bit premature? After all, poor Jim hasn't even arrived on the scene yet.
But honey, he's gonna be here tomorrow to meet sister. And what do I know about his character?
Mother, I want to tell you something, and I mean it right straight from my heart. There's a lot of boys who meet girls, which they don't marry.
Oh, you have me worried because you never could stay on the subject. Now, I want to know more about this boy. What is his profession at the warehouse?
He's a shipping clerk.
Ooh, shipping clerk. Oh, that sounds impressive. That's where you'd be if you had any get up. Now, how much does he earn?
I have no way of knowing that for sure. I judge his salary to be approximately $85 a month.
$85 a month? That's not princely.
It's $20 more than I make.
Oh, I know that. Oh, how well I know that. How well I know that. $85 a month. No, can't be done. Family man cannot live on $85 a month.
Mother, Jim is not a family man.
Well, not yet, but he might be sometime, mightn't he?
Oh, I see. Plans and provisions.
You know, you are the only young man I know who does not realize that the future becomes the present, and the present becomes the past, and the past is filled with everlasting regret if you don't plan for it.
I will think that over and see what I can make of it.
Don't be supercilious with your mother. Now, you tell me some more about this Mr. What'd you call him?
His full name is James D. O'Connor. The D is for Delaney.
And he doesn't drink.
Shall I call him up and ask him?
No!
I'll call him up and tell him you want to know if he drinks.
Oh, now you gotta be discreet about such things. You know, when I was a girl in Blue Mountain, and it was suspected that a young man was drinking, and if a girl was receiving his attentions, if any young girl was receiving his attentions, well, then she would go to the minister of his church and inquire about his character. Or if her father was alive, then it was her father's duty to inquire about his character. And that is how young girls in Blue Mountain were kept from making tragic mistakes.
Then how come you made such a tragic one?
Well, I don't know how he did it, but your father just fooled everybody. All he had to do was grin, and the world was bewitched. I can't think of anything more tragic than a young girl putting herself at the mercy of a handsome appearance. And so, I hope that Mr. O'Connor is not too good looking.
As a matter of fact, he isn't. He has a very large nose.
Oh, he isn't right down homely, is he?
No, not right down homely. Medium homely, I'd say.
Well, if a girl had any sense, she'd look for character in a man anyway.
That's what I've always said, Mama.
You've always said you've never even given it any thought.
Oh, don't be so suspicious of me.
Oh, I am suspicious of every single word that comes out of your mouth. But now, I want to know more about this young man. Now, is he up and coming?
Yes, I really do think he goes in for self-improvement.
Now, what makes you think that?
He goes to night school.
Oh, he goes to night school? What does he study there?
He's studying radio engineering and public speaking.
Oh, public speaking. That means he wants to be an executive. And radio engineering, well, that's coming, huh?
I think it's here.
Well, those are very illuminating facts for any mother to know about a young man who's coming to call on her daughter, seriously or not.
Mother, just one little warning. I didn't tell him anything about Laura. I didn't let on that we had dark, ulterior motives. All I said was, would you like to come home to dinner sometime? And he said yes. And that was the whole conversation.
I'll bet it was, too. You know, sometimes you are as eloquent as an oyster. But when he comes here and he sees how sweet and pretty that child is, he's going to be very happy he was invited over for some supper.
Mother, just one thing. You won't expect too much of Laura, will you?
I don't know what you mean.
Laura is ours and we love her. We don't even notice she's crippled anymore.
Don't you use that word.
You have to face the facts. She is. That's not all.
What do you mean that's not all?
Mother, you know that Laura is very different from other girls.
Well, yes, I know. And I think that difference is all in her favor.
Not quite all. In the eyes of others. Strangers. Laura is terribly shy, and that makes her seem a little peculiar to people outside the house.
Don't use that word peculiar.
You have to face the facts. She is.
In what way is she peculiar?
Mother, Laura lives in a world of middle-class animals. She plays her old phonograph records. And, well, that's about all.
Laura? Laura?
Yes, Mother?
Laura, you leave those dishes and you come out here for a second. I want you to make a wish on the moon. Little silver sliver of the moon. Now, look over your right shoulder. And now, honey, now, darling, wish.
What should I wish for, Mother?
Happiness. And just a little bit of good fortune.
And so, the following evening, I brought Jim home to dinner. I'd known Jim slightly in high school. In high school, Jim was a hero. He had tremendous good nature and vitality with the scrubbed and polished look of white china. Seemed to always move in a continual spotlight. He was a star in basketball, captain of the debating club, president of the senior class, and the glee club, and he sang the male lead in the annual light opera. He was forever running or bounding, never just walking. He seemed always just at the point of defeating the law of gravity. He was shooting with such velocity through his adolescence that one would logically just expect him to arrive at nothing short of the White House by the time he was 30. But Jim apparently ran into more interference after his graduation from high school because his speed had definitely slowed. And so, at this particular time in our lives, he was holding a job that wasn't much better than mine. He was the only one at the warehouse with whom I was on friendly terms. He knew of my secret practice of retiring to a cabinet off the washroom to work on poems whenever business was slack in the warehouse. He called me Shakespeare. While the other boys in the warehouse regarded me with suspicious hostility, Jim took a humorous attitude toward me. After a while, his attitude began to affect the other boys, and they began to smile at me too, as people smile at some oddly fashioned dog that trots across their path at some distance. I knew that Jim and Laura had known each other in high school because I had heard my sister Laura speak admiringly of Jim's voice. I did not know if Jim would remember her or not, because in high school, Laura had been as unobtrusive as Jim had been astonishing. Even if he did remember her, it was not as my sister. When I asked him home to dinner, he smiled and said, "You know, a funny thing, Shakespeare. I never thought of you as having folks." Well, he was about to discover that I did.
Laura, why are you trembling so?
Mother, you've made me so nervous.
Oh, how have I made you nervous?
By all this fuss, you make it seem so important.
You know, Laura, every time I try to do something for you that is the least bit different, you seem to set yourself against it. Now, come on down here and look at yourself. Oh, no, wait a minute. I got one little improvement here.
What is it?
Well, it's just a little bit of something here making pretty.
I don't need that.
Oh, yes, you do, and you are going to wear it.
Why should I?
Well, honey, to tell you the truth, you are just a little bit pale.
Mother, you make it seem like we're setting some sort of trap.
But we are, honey. All pretty girls are a trap, and all young men expect them to be traps. Now, come here and look at yourself in that glass. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, you look as pretty as an angel on a postcard. Oh, isn't that lovely? Now, your mother is going to go dress herself. You just wait a minute. You're going to be astonished at your mother's appearance. Oh, you know, Laura, I took this dress out of my old trunk. And oh, I was so disappointed because I have had to do so much to it. And the thing that makes me the saddest is I had to let these seams out a little bit. Laura, honey, come on inside and take a look at your mother.
Oh, Mother, how lovely!
Oh, it used to be. Oh, it used to be. I led the cotillion in this dress, and it used to have an awful lot of flowers on it too, but I had to take them all off because they got so tired. I won the cakewalk twice at Summit Hill. And I wore this dress to the governor's ball in Jackson. Oh, you should have seen your mother sashay around the ball. Oh, just sashay around just like that. Oh, I had this dress on the day I met your father. I also had malaria fever. It was just the changing climate from East Tennessee to the Mississippi Delta. It wasn't anything dangerous, just enough to make me restless and giddy. Oh, it was lovely. So many invitations poured in. My mother said, "Now you can't go anywhere. You've got fever. You have to stay in bed." And I said, "Well, I won't." So I took quinine, and I just kept going and going. Oh, dances every evening, and long rides in the lovely in Maine, all lacy with dogwood and flooded with jungles. I used to make my gentleman callers get out of the carriage and help me pick jungles. My mother said, you can't bring any more jungles into this house. And I said, well, I will. You know, Laura, it got to be a little bit of a joke. They'd see me coming and the boys would say, uh-oh, look out, here she comes. We're going to have to help her pick jungles. My mother said, you can't bring any more jungles into this house. We don't have enough vases for them. And I said, well, that's all right. I just hold them myself. Your father and Mary Fever, jungles.
Oh, Mother.
Oh, sounds like it's gonna rain. I hope they get here before it rains. I gave your brother a little bit of extra change so he and Mr. O'Connor could take the service car home.
Mother?
What's the matter now?
What did he say his name was?
O'Connor, why?
What is his first name?
Well, I don't remember. Oh, yes, I do. It's Jim.
Oh, no. Not Jim O'Connor.
Yes, it was Jim. You know, I've never known a Jim that wasn't nice.
Is he the one that Tom used to know in high school, Mother?
Well, honey, he didn't say. I think he met him down at the warehouse.
Mother, there was a Jim O'Connor that we both used to know in high school, but if that is the one that Tom is bringing home to dinner, Mother, I will not come to the table. I have to be excused.
What is this now? What kind of silly talk is this?
Mother, you asked me once if I ever liked the boy, remember? And they showed you that boy's picture.
Yes, that boy in the yearbook?
Yes, that boy.
Oh, Laura. Oh, Laura, honey, were you in love with that boy?
I don't know, Mother. All I know is that I will not come to the table if it was him.
Oh, now, honey, it won't be him. It isn't the least bit likely to be him. But whether it is or not, you will come to the table. You will not be excused.
Mother, I have to be.
Now, honey, I am not going to humor your silliness. I put up with enough from you and your brother both. Now, you just sit down here and compose yourself. Now, your brother lost his key, so you're going to have to greet them when they come.
What?
Well, honey, listen. Now, I can't do it. I have not even finished making the mayonnaise dressing for the salmon. Oh, Laura, honey, please be reasonable. Why all this fuss for just one little gentleman caller? That's all, just one. Laura, sweetheart, would you greet our guests?
Mother, I will not greet them. You go.
What's the matter with you, silly thing? Now, honey, you go to that door. Now, what is the matter? Why have you lost your mind at that particular moment? Why can't you go?
I'm sick.
You're sick? Am I sick? I don't understand you and your brother. You have me worried to death. Why can't you ever act like normal children? Now, get over there and we'll greet our guests. Laura Wingfield, you are going to greet our guests. Now, honey, I have got to put courage into you for living.
Laura, this is Jim. Jim, this is my sister Laura.
I didn't know Shakespeare had a sister. How are you, Laura?
How do you do?
I'm okay. Your hands are cold, Laura.
Yes, I have been playing the Victrola.
Must have been playing classical music on it. You had to play a little part. Swing music to warm you up.
Oh,
What's the matter?
Oh, Laura. Laura is terribly shy.
Shy, huh? You know, it's unusual nowadays to meet a shy girl. And I don't ever believe you ever mentioned that you had a sister.
Well, now you know I have one. You want a piece of the paper?
Uh-huh.
Comics?
Comics. Sports. I see that Dizzy Dean is on his bad behavior.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, where are you going?
Out on the terrace to smoke.
You know, Shakespeare, I'm gonna sell you a bill of goods.
What goods?
Of course I'm taking.
What course?
Of course, in public speaking. You see, you and me, we're not the warehouse staff.
Thanks, that's good news. What has public speaking got to do with it?
Well, it fits you for executive positions.
Oh,
Yeah, I tell you, it's done a hell of a lot for me.
in what respect?
In all respects. Ask yourself, what's the difference between you and me and the guys in the office down the front? Brains? No. Ability? No. Then what? Well, primarily, it all comes down to one single thing.
And what is that one thing?
Social poise. The ability to square up to someone and hold your own on any social level.
Tom!
Yes, Mother.
Tom, is that you and Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, Mother.
Make yourselves comfortable.
We will.
Ask Mr. O'Connor if he would like to wash his hands.
No, thanks, ma'am. I took care of that down at the warehouse. Tom, Mr. Mendoza was speaking to me about you.
Favorably.
What do you think?
Well,
You're going to be out of a job if you don't wake up.
I'm waking up. It's just that
But you show no signs.
the signs are interior. I'm just about to make a big change. I'm right on the verge of committing myself to a future that doesn't involve a warehouse or Mr. Mendoza or even a night school course in public speaking.
Now, what are you gassing about?
I'm tired of the movies.
The movies.
Yes, movies! Look at them. All those glamorous people. Hogging it all. Gobbling the whole thing up. You know what happens? People go to the movies instead of moving. Hollywood characters are supposed to have all the adventures for everybody in America. While everybody in America sits in a dark room and watches them happen. Yes, until there's a war. That's when adventure becomes available to the masses. Everyone's dish, not only gamers. That's when the people in the dark room come out of the dark room to have some adventures for themselves. Goody! It's our turn now to go off to the South Sea Island, to make a safari, to be exotic far off. But I'm not patient. I don't want to wait till then. I'm tired of movies, and I'm about to move.
Move.
Yes.
When?
Soon.
But where?
I'm starting to boil inside. I know I seem dreamy, but inside, well, I'm boiling. Whenever I pick up a shoe, I shudder a little, thinking how short life is and what I am doing. Whatever that means, I know it doesn't mean shoes, except there's something to wear on a traveler's feet. Look,
What?
I'm a member.
The Union of Merchant Seamen.
I paid my dues last month instead of the electric light bill.
You're going to regret it when they turn off the lights.
I won't be here.
But how about your mother?
I'm my father's son. The bastard son of a bastard. See how he grins? And he's been absent going on 16 years.
You're just talking. You drift. How does your mother feel about this?
Here comes Mother. Mother's not acquainted with my plans.
Tom?
Yes, Mother.
Where are y'all?
On the terrace, Mother.
Well, why don't y'all come inside?
Mother, you look so pretty.
I believe that is the first compliment you have ever given me. I wish you would look pleasant when you're about to say something pleasant, so I know to expect it. Mr. O'Connor.
How do you do?
Well, Mr. O'Connor, no introductions are necessary. I have heard so much about you from my boy. I finally said, why don't you bring that paragon home for supper? This nice young boy in the warehouse, instead of singing his praises all the time. You know, he is a little bit standoffish, and that is not southern behavior. Now, why don't we just sit down? Let's sit down. Oh, and I think I felt a breeze just a minute ago. Oh, it's getting so warm already. Oh, Tom, where did that breeze go? Honey, don't block that breezeway. Oh, it is so warm, and it's not even summer yet. Oh, we are going to burn up when it's finally summer. Oh, well, but we are having a very light supper tonight. You know, I think light things are best for this time of year. Light food and light clothes, that is just what the season calls for. Because, you know, our blood gets very, very thick in the wintertime, and we have to give our bodies time to readjust. Oh, you know, it is so warm. I was not prepared for it. All of a sudden, summer. Oh, so I ran to my trunk and I got out this old dress. Oh, it's positively historical, almost ancient, but it feels so good. So good, so cool. You know, Mr. O'Connor.
How about our supper?
Oh, well, honey, why don't you go and ask Sister about supper? You know, Sister is in complete charge of supper. You tell her that you hungry boys are ready for it. Did you meet Laura?
Yeah.
She greeted you?
Yes, ma'am.
She's very pretty.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it is very rare for a girl as sweet and pretty as Laura to also be domestic. But she is. Laura is sweet and pretty and domestic. Not like me, of course. I never was. I could never do anything. I could never make anything but an angel food cake. But of course, we had so many servants in the South. Gone, gone, gone. All vestiges of gracious living just gone. Of course, I was not prepared for what the future had in store for me. You see, all of my callers were gentlemen, and they were planters or sons of planters, so naturally I assumed that I would marry one and raise my family on a large plot of land and have lots of servants. But, well, man proposes and woman accepts the proposal to vary that old saying somewhat. I married a man who worked for the telephone company, that man right back there. He was a man who was in love with long distance, and now he just travels all over the place, and I don't even know where he is. Oh, but listen to me, talking about my tribulations. Why don't you tell me about your life? Oh, I hope you don't have any. Tom!
Yes, Mother.
Tom, honey, what about that supper?
Why, supper is on the table.
Oh, so it is. Oh, how lovely. Oh, where's Laura?
Oh, Laura says she isn't feeling too well, and perhaps she'd better not come to the table.
Laura? Mr. O'Connor.
Yes, my mother.
Laura, honey, you know we can't say grace until you come to the table.
Laura!
Oh, Laura, honey, you are sick. Oh, darling, you go lie down on the sofa for a little while. Laura has been in that hot kitchen all day long, slaving over that stove. I said to her, honey, it is too warm, but well. Tom's Laura all right now?
She's better now, Mother.
Oh, well, good. It sounds like we're going to have some rain. Tom, honey, you say grace.
What?
Well, honey, what do we do before we sit down to have something to eat? We say grace, don't we?
For these and all thy mercies, God's holy name be praised.
Oh, Mr. O'Connor, I have had such a wonderful evening. I have not had such a pleasant evening in a very long time.
Well, Mrs. Wingfield, let me give you a toast. Here's to the Old South.
The Old South. Oh.
Hey, Mr. Lago.
Oh, could one of you gentlemen provide me with a match so we could have some illumination?
I think we can, ma'am.
Oh, well, oh, wonderful. Where was Moses when the lights went out? Do you know the answer to that one, Mr. O'Connor?
No, ma'am. What is the answer to that one?
Well, I know one answer, but it isn't very nice. I thought you might know another one.
No, ma'am.
You know, I put this candelabra on the table just for ornamentation, but it's so nice that it can prove useful, too. Well, I suppose this must be a burnt-out fuse. Now, do you know anything about burnt-out fuses, Mr. O'Connor?
Well, I know a little about them, ma'am, but where's the fuse box?
Oh, but you need to know that, too. Well, it's out there in the kitchen. There you go. So, now you go on out there, but you be careful. It's dark. So don't you stumble over anything now. Oh, wouldn't it be terrible if we lost him? Oh, are you all right, Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, ma'am, I'm all right.
Oh, you know, electricity is such a mystery to me. Of course, everything is a mystery to me. I think it was Benjamin Franklin, wasn't it, who tied that key to the end of a kite. I would love to have seen that. I imagine he looked kind of silly, too. You know, they say that science is going to solve all the mysteries of the universe, but I think it's just introducing more. Have you found it yet, Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, ma'am, I found it all right, but them fuses, they look okay to me.
Tom,
Yes, Mother.
do you remember that light bill I gave you a few days ago, the one I got the notice about?
Oh, you mean last month's bill?
You didn't neglect it by any chance, did you?
Well,
Oh, I might have known it.
Maybe Shakespeare wrote a poem on that light bill, Mrs. Wingfield.
Maybe he did, but I should have known better than to trust him with it. You know, there is such a high price for negligence in the world these days.
Maybe that poem will win him a $10 prize.
Oh, well, I guess we just have to spend the rest of the evening in the 19th century before Mr. Edison discovered the Mazda lamp.
Candlelight is my favorite kind of light.
Oh, well, that means that you're romantic. But that is no excuse for Tom. Of course, it's so nice that they allowed us to finish our dinner before plunging us into everlasting darkness. Well, as a penalty for your negligence, Tom, you can come out to the kitchen and help me with the dishes.
Oh, can I get some help now?
Oh, no, I couldn't allow that.
Well, I have to be good for something.
Oh, what's that I heard?
I just said that I ought to be good for something.
That's what I thought I heard. Laura is all by her lonesome out there in the living room. How would you feel about keeping her company? I can give you this beautiful old candelabra for light. It used to sit on the altar of the Church of the Heavenly Rest, but it burned a little bit when the church fell down and burned. It was hit by lightning one spring. And Gypsy Jones was in town holding a revival meeting, and he said that the reason that the church burned down was because the Episcopalians had started holding card parties in the basement.
Is that so, ma'am?
I never say anything that isn't so.
I'll beg your pardon.
Oh, I would like Laura to have a little glass of this dandelion wine. Now, do you think you can hold both of these, Mr. O'Connor?
I can try, ma'am.
Tom, you get out in that kitchen and put on your apron.
Yes, Mother.
are you feeling now? Any better?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, here. This is for you. It's a little dandelion wine. Well, drink it, so don't get drunk. Say, where'll I put the candles?
Oh, anywhere.
How about right here on the floor? You got any objection?
No.
I'll just spread a newspaper under it to catch the drippings. I like to sit on the floor. You mind if I do?
No.
Would you give me a pillow?
What?
A pillow. How about you? Don't you like to sit on the floor?
Yes, I do.
Well, then, why don't you?
I will.
Oh, here, take the pillow. I can't see you sitting way over there.
I can see you.
Yeah, but that's not fair. I mean, I'm right here in the limelight. That's good. Now I can't see you. Are you comfortable?
Yes, thank you.
So am I. I am as comfortable as a cow. Would you care for a piece of chewing gum?
No, thank you.
Well, I think that I will indulge. Gee, think of the fortune made by the guy that invented the first piece of chewing gum, huh? It's amazing. You know, the Wrigley building, it was one of the sides of Chicago. I saw it summer before last at the Century of Progress. Did you take in the Century of Progress?
No, I didn't.
Well, it was a wonderful exposition, believe me. You know what impressed me most? The Hall of Science. It gives you an idea of what the future will be like in America. Oh, it's more wonderful than the present time is. Say, your brother tells me that you're shy. Is that right, Laura?
I don't know.
Well, I judge you to be an old-fashioned type of girl. Oh, I think that's a wonderful type to be. I hope you don't think I'm being too personal, do you?
Mr. O'Connor,
Yeah.
I believe I will take a piece of gum if you don't mind. Mr. O'Connor,
Yep.
have you kept up with your singing?
Singing. Me.
Yes, I remember what a beautiful voice you had.
You heard me sing.
Yes, very often. I don't suppose you remember me at all.
You know, as a matter of fact, I did have an idea that I'd seen you before. You know, it seemed almost as if I was about to remember your name, but the name that I was about to remember, it wasn't a name, so I stopped myself before I said anything.
Wasn't it Blue Roses?
Blue roses. Oh my gosh, yes. Blue roses. You know, I didn't connect you with high school somehow or other, but that's what it was. It was high school. Gosh, I didn't even know that you were Shakespeare's sister. Oh, gee, I'm sorry.
I didn't expect you to. You barely knew me.
Yeah, but we did have a speaking acquaintance.
Yes, we spoke to each other.
Say, didn't we have a class in something together?
Yes, we did.
What class was that?
It was singing chorus. I sat across the aisle from you in the auditorium. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, I remember now. You're the one who always came in late.
Well, it was hard for me getting upstairs, you know. I had a brace on my leg and clumped so loud.
But I never heard any clumping.
Well, to me, it sounded like thunder.
Never even noticed.
Everybody was seated before I came in. My seat was in the back row. I had to go clumping up the aisle with everybody watching.
Gee, you shouldn't have been self-conscious.
I know, but I wasn't. Well, it was such a relief when the singing started.
Yeah, I remember now. And I used to call you Blue Roses. How did I ever get started calling you a name like that?
When I was out of school a little with pleurosis, and I came back, you asked me what was the matter. And I said pleurosis. You thought I said Blue Roses. And that's what you called me after that.
Oh, gee. I hope you didn't mind.
Oh no, I liked it. You see, I wasn't acquainted with many people.
Yeah, I remember. You sort of stuck by yourself.
Well, I never had much luck making any friends.
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't.
It started out badly.
You mean being...
Yes, it kind of stood between me
But
and...
you shouldn't have let it.
I know, but I did. And it just...
You mean you were shy with people?
I tried not to be, but I never could. I never...
Overcome it?
No, I never could.
Yeah, I guess being shy is something that you have to work out of, kind of gradually.
Yes, I guess it just takes...
Takes time.
Yes.
Say, you know something, Laura? People are not so dreadful when you get to know them. That's what you have to remember. See, everybody has problems. Not just you, but practically everybody has problems. You think of yourself as being the only one who's disappointed. But look around you and what do you see? A lot of people just as disappointed as you are. You take me, for instance. Boy, when I left high school, I thought I'd be a lot further along at this time than I am now. Say, you remember that wonderful write-up I had in
The Torch.
The Torch. Yeah. Said I was bound to succeed in anything I went in. Holy Jesus, it's the Torch.
Yes. Here you are, in the Pirates of Penzance.
Ah, the pirates. Oh, better far to live than die under the brave black flag I sang the lead in that operetta.
Yes, beautifully. Yes, beautiful.
You heard me then, huh?
All 3 times.
No.
Yes.
You mean all 3 performances?
Yes.
What for?
I wanted you to autograph my program.
Why didn't you ask me?
You were always surrounded by your own friends, and I never had a chance to.
You could have come right up and said, here's my program, give me an autograph. And I would have given it to you.
Well, I was afraid you might think I was,
Afraid I might think you was...
you know.
I was beleaguered by females in those days.
You were terribly popular. You had such a friendly way.
I was spoiled in high school.
Yes, everybody liked you.
Including you.
Why,
You give me that program, Laura. There you are. Better late than never.
my, what a surprise.
Well, my signature's not worth very much right now, but maybe someday it'll increase in value. You know, being disappointed, it's one thing, but being discouraged, oh, that's something else. Well, I may be disappointed, but I'm not discouraged. Say, did you finish high school?
I made bad grades in my final examination.
You mean you dropped out?
I didn't go back. Mr. O'Connor, how is Emily Meisenbach getting along?
That crowdhead.
Why did you call her that?
Because that's what she was.
So you are not still going with her?
Oh, I never even see her.
But it said in the personal section that you were engaged.
I know, but I wasn't impressed by that propaganda.
So it wasn't the truth.
It was only true in Emily's optimistic opinion. So, what have you been doing since high school, huh?
What?
I said, what have you been doing since high school?
Nothing much.
Well, you must have been doing something all this time.
Well, I took a business course at business college.
You did. How did that work out?
Not very well, it gave me indigestion.
So what are you doing now?
Nothing much. Oh, please don't think I sit around doing nothing. My glass collection takes a very good deal of my time. You know, glass is something that you have to take very good care of.
What did you say about glass?
A collection, I said I have one.
Say, you know what I judge to be the trouble with you? Inferiority complex. You know what that is? That's what they call it when a fellow lowers himself. Oh, I understand it because I had it too. Only my case wasn't as aggravated as yours seems to be. I had it until I took up public speaking and developed my voice and learned that I had an aptitude for science. You know, until that time, I never thought of myself as being outstanding in any way whatsoever.
Oh, my.
Now, I've never made a regular study of it, mind you, but I have a friend who says that I can analyze people better than those doctors who make a profession of it. Now, I don't claim that it's necessarily true, but I can sure guess a person's psychology. Excuse me, Laura, I take it out when the flame is gone. I'll just wrap it up in a piece of paper. I know how it is when it gets stuck on a shoe. Yep, that's what I judge to be your principal trouble. A lack of confidence in yourself as a person. Now, I'm basing that fact on a number of your remarks and on certain observations that I've made. For instance, that clumping you thought was so awful in high school. You say that you dreaded to go upstairs. You see what you did? You dropped out of school. You gave up an education. All because of a little club, which, as far as I can see, is practically non-existent, though. A little physical defect. It's all you have. It's hardly noticeable either, but it's magnified 1,000 times by your imagination. You know what my strong advice to you is? You have got to think of yourself as superior in some way.
In what way would I think?
Why, man alive, Laura. Look around you a little, and what do you see? A world full of common people. All of them born, and all of them going to die. Now, which one of them has 1/10 of your strong points? Or mine? Or anybody else's for that matter? You see, everyone excels in some one thing. Well, some event. You take me, for instance. My interests, they happen to lie in electrodynamics. I'm taking a course in radio engineering at night school. On top of a fairly responsible job at the warehouse. I'm taking that course, and I'm studying public speaking. Because I believe in the future of television, and I want to be ready to go right along with it. I'm planning to get in on the ground floor, and I've already made the right connections. All that remains now is for the industry itself to get underway, full steam. Knowledge, money, power. Knowledge, money, power. Knowledge, money, power. Bang! That's the cycle democracy is built on. I guess you think that I think a lot of myself.
No, I don't.
Well, now, how about you? Isn't there some one thing that you take more interest in than anything else?
Well, as I said, I have my glass collection.
What kind of glass is it?
They're ornaments, articles. Animals, the tiniest little animals in the world. Mother calls it the Glass Menagerie. Wait, here's an example of one. This is nearly 13. Be very careful. If you breathe, it breaks.
Oh, then I better not take it. I'm pretty clumsy with things.
No, I trust you with him. See, here you are. You're holding him gently. Hold him over the light. He loves the light. See how the light shines right through him.
It sure does shine.
Well, I shouldn't be partial, but he's my favorite.
Say, what kind of thing is this one supposed to be?
Don't you notice the single horn on his head?
A unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Unicorns. Aren't they extinct in the modern world?
I know.
Poor little fellow. Must feel kind of lonesome.
Well, if he doesn't complain about it. He sits on the shelf with the other horses, the ones that don't have horns, and they all seem to get along together.
They do. Say, where'd I put him?
Put them on the table. They all like a change of scenery once in a while.
They do. Okay. Oh, look how big my shadow is when I stretch.
Well, it's stretched across the ceiling.
It stopped raining. Where does the music come from?
From the Paradise Dance Hall across the alley.
How about cutting the rug a little, Miss Wingfield? Or is your program filled up? Let me take a look. Say, all the dances are taken. I'll just scratch some of them out. A waltz.
I can't dance.
There you go with that inferiority stuff.
I've never danced in my life.
Come on, try.
I'm afraid I'd step on you.
Well, I'm not made out of glass.
Well, how do we start?
You hold your arms out a little.
Like this?
A little bit higher. That's right. The principal thing about it is just relax it. Do not tighten up.
I'm afraid you can't budge me.
What you bet I can't.
Oh,
Let yourself go now, Laura. Just let yourself go. Loosen your backbone a little. There you are. You're doing it. Enjoy this flow.
oh.
We knocked the little glass horse over. Where is he? Is he broken?
I think he lost his horn.
Now he's like all the other horses.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Still, I bet you never forgive me. I bet that was your favorite piece of glass.
Well, I don't have favorites much, you see. It's not tragedy. The glass, it breaks so easily, no matter how good care you take. And the glass, it jars chops and things fall off them all the time.
Still, I'm awfully sorry that I was the cause of that.
Well, let's just pretend that he had an operation to make him feel less freakish. And now he can get along better with the horses that don't have horns.
Well, I'm glad to see that you have a sense of humor. See, you're different than anyone else I know. Do you mind me telling you that? I mean it. You make me feel sort of, I don't know how to say. I'm usually pretty good at expressing things, but this, it's something I don't know how to say. Did anybody ever tell you that you were pretty? Well, you are, and in a different way than anyone else, and all the nicer because of the difference. Oh boy, I wish that you were my sister. I'd teach you to have confidence in yourself. You see, being different, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Other people, they aren't such wonderful people. They're 100 times 1,000. You're 1 times 1. They walk all over the earth. You just stay here. They are as common as weeds. And you, well, you're blue roses.
But blue is wrong for roses.
It's right for you. You're pretty.
In what respect am I pretty?
Your eyes, your hair, your hands are pretty. Oh, you think I'm just saying this because I'm invited to dinner and I have to be nice. Oh, I can do that. I can say lots of things without being sincere, but this, it's something that I'm talking to you sincerely. I happen to notice that you have this inferiority complex that keeps you from being comfortable with people. See, somebody's got to build your confidence up, way up, and make you proud instead of shy and turning away and blushing. Somebody ought to kiss you, Laura. I shouldn't be doing that. That would be way off the beam. Would you care for a cigarette? I don't smoke. How about mint, peppermint, lifesaver? Oh, my pocket's a regular drugstore. You see, Laura, if you were my sister, I'd do the same thing as Tom. I'd bring home fellas to meet you. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. That may not have been the idea in having me over. But what if it was? There's nothing wrong with that. The only trouble is that, in my case, I can't ask for a number and say a phone. I can't call next weekend and ask for a date. I thought I had better explain the situation before you misunderstood and I hurt you.
So, you won't call again?
No, I can't. See, Laura, I've got strings on me, Laura. I've been going steady. I go out all the time with a girl nicknamed Betty. Oh, she's a nice, quiet homegirl like you, and in a great many ways we get along fine. I met her summer before last on a moonlight boat trip up the River Route and on the Majestic, and right away from the start it was love. Oh boy, love has made a new man of me. Love is something that changes the whole world. The power of love is pretty tremendous. It happened that Betty's aunt took sick and she got a wire and had to go to Centralia. So naturally, when Tom invited me to dinner, naturally I accepted, not knowing. Not knowing. I wish that you would say something, Laura. What are you doing? You mean you want me to have it? What for?
Souvenir.
I'm coming, children. I thought that you would like some liquid refreshment. Mr. O'Connor, do you know that song about lemonade? Lemonade, lemonade, made in the shade and stirred with a spade, then it's good enough for any old maid.
No, ma'am.
Why are you so serious, honey?
We were having a serious conversation.
I don't understand you modern young people. When I was a girl, I was gay about everything.
Well, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the gaiety of the occasion which has rejuvenated me. Here's to the gaiety of the occasion. Oh, I baptized myself. You know, I found a jar of cherries out in the kitchen, and I put one in the bottom of each glass.
You shouldn't have gone through all that trouble, ma'am.
Oh, it was no trouble at all. Did you hear us cutting up there in that kitchen? You know, I was outdone with Tom for not bringing you over here sooner, but now that you found your way here, I want you to come all the time, not just once in a while, but all the time. I better get back up to that kitchen.
Oh, no, ma'am. Please don't go. As a matter of fact, I've got to be going.
Oh, but Mr. O'Connor, it's the shake of the evening.
Well, you know how it is.
Oh, well, you mean that you are a young working man and you have to keep working man's hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we'll let you off early this time, but only on the understanding that you stay later next time, much later. Now, which night is best for you? Is it Saturday?
Well, as a matter of fact, ma'am, I've got a couple of time clocks to punch in. One in the morning and one at night.
Oh, how nice! Well, you are so ambitious. You mean you work at nights too?
No, ma'am. Not work, but Betty.
Betty? Who's Betty?
She's a girl. The girl I go steady with.
You mean it's serious?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to get married second Sunday in June.
Tom didn't say anything at all about you getting married.
Well, the cat's not out of the bag in the warehouse yet. You know how they are. They call you Romeo and stuff like that. Well, it's been a wonderful evening, Miss Wingfield. I guess this is what they mean by Southern hospitality.
It was nothing. It was nothing at all.
I hope it don't seem like I'm rushing off, but I promised Betty that I'd pick her up at the Wabash Depot and And by the time I get my jalopy down there, her train will be in. Some women get pretty upset if you keep them waiting.
Yes, I know all about the tyranny of women. Well, goodbye, Mr. O'Connor. I wish you happiness and good fortune. And you wish him that too, don't you, Laura?
Yes, I do, Mother.
Goodbye, Laura. I'll always treasure that souvenir that you gave me. And you always remember the good advice that I gave you. So long, Shakespeare. Thanks again, ladies. Good night.
Well. Things certainly have a way of turning out badly. I don't believe I would play that Victrola, Laura. Well. So our gentleman caller was engaged to be married. Tom?
Yes, Mother.
Tom, come on out here. I've got something very funny to tell you.
Has our gentleman caller gotten away already?
Oh, yes, our gentleman caller made a very early departure. That was a nice joke you played on us, too.
How do you mean?
You didn't mention that our gentleman caller was engaged to be married.
Jim? Engaged?
That's what he just informed us.
Well, I'll be jaded. I didn't know.
Well, I think that's very peculiar.
What's peculiar about it?
Well, didn't you say he was your best friend down at the warehouse?
He is, but how did I know?
Well, I think it's very peculiar that you didn't know that your best friend was engaged to be married.
The warehouse is the place where I work, not where I know things about people.
Well, you don't know things anywhere. You just live in a dream. You manufacture illusions. Oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm going to the movies.
Oh, that's right. Now, you've had us make fools of ourselves. All that effort, all the expense, all the preparation, that new dress for Laura. All for what? To entertain some other girl's fiancé? Oh, that's right. Just go to the movies. Don't you think about us. Don't you think about a mother deserted or an unmarried sister who's got no job, who's crippled. That's right. You don't let anything stand in the way of your selfish pleasures. You just go to the movies.
All right, I will. And the more you shout at me about my selfish pleasures, the quicker I'll go. And we'll go to the movies.
You just go. You go to the moon, you selfish dreamer.
I didn't go to the moon. I went much farther. For time was the longest distance between two places. I left St. Louis. I followed from then on in my father's footsteps. I descended these steps of this fire escape for the last time and did what my father did. Attempted to find in motion what was lost in space. I traveled around a great deal. The city swept about me like dead leaves. Leaves that were brightly colored but torn away from their branches. I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. It always came upon me unawares, taking me altogether by surprise. Perhaps it was a familiar bit of music. Perhaps it was only a piece of transparent glass. Perhaps I'm walking along the street at night in some strange city before I have found companions, and I come across the lighted window of a shop where perfume was sold. The window was filled with pieces of glass, tiny transparent bottles in delicate colors, like bits of a shattered rainbow. Then all at once my sister touches my shoulder. I turn around and look into her eyes. Oh, Laura. Laura, I tried to leave you behind me, but I am more faithful than I intended to be. I reach for a cigarette. I cross the street. I run into a movie or a bar. I buy a drink. I speak to the nearest stranger. Anything that will blow out your candles. For nowadays, the world is lit by lightning. Blow out your candles, Laura. And so, goodbye.